Hey guys, it's Dude49 and I'm going to be showing you guys one-way smokes that are really good on Dust 2 and Inferno that are going to be super effective, but I'm going to be going over each smoke a bit at a time, trying to explain how you're going to do it and the benefits of doing it. So let's get this started. So first things first, I want you guys to look in the description of this video. It's right down at the bottom there. I want you guys to look there. There's a bunch of console commands you're going to want to run. It's going to allow you to be able to practice these in a private server. You could put these console commands into an auto execute, or you could put them in manually. I don't know why you'd want to do that. It'll take too much time. But most of all, the best way to do it is put it into an auto executable file and just execute it. And then you're going to basically be able to do these when you get into a private server. So the first thing I want to mention is there's three types of smokes. People don't realize this. There's three types of smokes. The first one is obviously the easy one, which is the left click. The second one is the right click, and I'm going to do this with a grenade, which you can do like that. It will land right in front of you. And the third one, I'm going to do it again with a grenade, is notice I'm holding the right click. Pay attention to my left hand, the hand on the left there. If I hold my left click as well with the right click, it's a medium throw, and if I let go of both, it basically throws it in between the two distances. So again, you have your left click, which is further, you got your right click, which will land here, and the medium throw there. So to start this off, you're going to need to know these for doing these smokes. And the first smoke I want to show is pay attention to these blocks here. This block here, and this block here. So what you're going to want to do is when you get over here, get your smoke out, and you look at the second block here. You'll see the first one, you see the second one. Aim at that one and aim at the ground here. You're gonna do the medium throw. Notice the hand, you just do the medium throw and it'll pop right there, and you can go right up into the carriage here, and you stand basically around here. If you feel like you're too exposed here, you can just take a couple steps back and you're more hidden, but you can see the enemies coming. And what the enemy sees is just smoke. By the time the enemy has a chance to react to this, you would basically kill them. They would not be able to see you. It's just the way the one-way smoke works. So again, to recap, you look at that block, you aim at the bottom here, do the medium throw. You could do this as soon as you get into B, and you could just run right up, get here, and probably take one step back so they can't really see you. And it's just barely visible, but you can get a couple of shots off on the enemy before they'll even notice you. Now the next one-way smoke I want to mention is this one here. This one you could do with your buddy, or the guy playing B with you, is notice this vent here, not this one, this vent. Both of them have these lines in the middle, this line and that line. You're going to use this line here and line it up and adjust it with this corner thing sticking out here. So aim here, aim there, and just do a left throw. It's going to bounce on top of the car. So now when you get here, you can see their feet underneath, and they won't even notice you, because as they're coming up, they're just going to see the smoke, and by the time they realize that you guys did a one-way smoke, you would have either killed one or two of them or done a lot of damage to the last few guys behind them. So again, just to quickly recap, you just stand right here, use this line here on the second vent, aim aligning with that, and just left click. And it'll bounce again on top of the car, and you can just look underneath to get the enemy. Now I'm going to show you another one in Banana, but while this smoke's clearing off, I want to show you a smoke that has been pretty useful for me for taking care of oppers or guys who are shooting down mid. You're just going to get up here. It's not really the greatest, but it's good enough. You see this vent, or I guess this shutter here? You have three sectors. You have 1, 2, and then 3. You can characterize them by the darker shutter piece. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into this corner here, aim at the top one, align your horizontal or vertical line with the left side of that, and just aim in the middle of it all. Just right there. Just in the middle of it all. Right in the middle of the top one here, just right here. And when you toss that smoke, it lands here, but what ends up happening is when you get into this mid pit, you can see the enemy here. And they won't be able to see you really. They'll just see smoke. They don't have time to be able to hit you. So you'd have basically the first shot off on the enemy. So it works really effective, especially if you're just coming up and you want to peek mid, you don't want to get killed. Just quickly go, aim right there, toss it, wait till it blows up, and you can easily run in. And you can just pick them off really quickly. By the time they realize what's going on, you would have done a lot of damage to them or killed them. Another smoke I want to show you, which I mentioned earlier on Banana here, is another one-way smoke where you're going to be going up to here. You see these pillars here? You aim at the furthest one to the right. Notice how they all have this line here on the bottom? You're going to aim here, right here. Just toss it there with the left throw. It'll bounce on top of the car. But the beauty of this is you do have to worry about this as you're getting here, but if you can get here as quick as possible, you can look through this little crack here of the car, and you can see the enemies coming up and you can pick them off. I don't recommend moving out to here and picking them. I mean, you could do it, but I don't recommend it because what ends up happening is as you're shooting them, here, let me do the smoke again.
Smoke.
So you'd go here and shoot them, but what happens is as you're shooting them, they're gonna assume you're on the left side here, but really you're over here, so they don't notice you. And that's the beauty of that smoke. That's that second one-way smoke. Now, another smoke I want to show you is all the way at A site. So assume you're in pit and the teammate's calling, hey, they're coming up mid. They're most likely they like to come up short A. This is short A, by the way. At least I call it short A. But when the teammate starts calling up, they're coming up short A, and or you know they're coming up there, you basically line yourself right here with this edge here. It doesn't have to be accurate. I mean, you could just go run right up to it and then look over here. So what you're going to be aiming at is this area right here. You can use it with the little, you can kind of understand what where to look by looking at this little line statue thing here. Just right above it. So again, you just run right up here. You just look at the little line figure thing and you just toss it there. And what ends up happening is they'll bounce around like that, but what it gives you is the advantage of seeing them here. And you might think they could see you, but they can't. Even if they crouched, they can't really see you. It's just the way the angles work, and that one-way smoke works really effective. So as they're coming out here, you can easily start picking them off or doing a lot of damage. And it's a lot easier to see them than they can see you. So let's go on to Dust 2 and I'll show you some smokes there. So as I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to look in the description to get the console commands so that you can be able to execute them right away. And I have it bound to my auto execute, so I just type in exec A and it just quickly kicks the bots, restarts the round, and I'm able to have all the grenades I need. And with a quick find, I instantly have all my nades and it's an infinite ammo. So let's get into this now, and I'm going to show you the long A smoke. And this one works really great because a lot of people who come out long A, they tend to throw lots of flashes and they have all this trouble trying to take care of the guy picking long. But most likely, the guy picking long will be able to pick you before you can get them. So one of the quickest ways to take care of him is just get into this line right here, look down at the ground and just toss it there. And as soon as it pops, you could just get over here and you could pick him. You could do it with an AK or whatever you have and you could just pick him. And you might think they can see you, but surprisingly, that smoke is really effective and they can only see your toes, but that's only when the smoke starts to clear up. So as soon as you throw the smoke, get in the corner and get there quick as possible and just get the picks going. So you can do it as a rush. You can just run, toss it, and get over here. When it blows up, you'd want to peek. So another smoke I want to show is for CT side, watching long A, and some people don't really know this, but if you right click and left click, you can do the medium throw. And what I like to do is when I throw the smoke, it's okay if the smoke lands here. It's not a big deal. But what I like to do is throw it towards the corner and try to land it somewhere in this area. So you could just be over here and left click, right click, so it's a lot easier to do this. And you just toss it. And even if it gets in the corner, it's okay, because what ends up happening is you just come here and you could see the enemies jumping into pit or coming out of long A, and you could do a lot of damage to them. And you might think they can see you, but the whole point is it's a one-way smoke. And by the time they realize you're even there, they can't see you for starters, but by the time they realize you're there, you would have either killed one or two of them or done a heck of a whole lot of damage to them. So like I said, you try to get over here, do left click, right click, and just toss it right there. And the enemy is not going to be able to see you. And if you do it more towards up front, you can see them jumping into pit and you could make quicker calls for your team. But again, they won't be able to see you. Now another smoke I want to show, this is a little bit, this is more for the T side, and it's a little bit tricky. So you want to go here, corner yourself into here, and you look at this little, I guess, artwork here, and that line there. You look at this artwork and that line there, and you want to just align your crosshair right into the corner where this line meets up with this artwork, and just slightly under it, this line, that artwork, slightly under it, you just want to toss there. What ends up happening is this will bounce and it'll land right there. And you might wonder what that's good for. It might help you rush long or rush into A, but you could just see the enemies on the side here at long. If you notice, that's the wall for long. So if there was an opper there, you could do some nice damage to him if he was trying to op you guys, or if they were coming back from long A, you could easily pick them off. So again, it's stand in the corner here, look at this little artwork, look at that line, put it in the corner, just right there where the two meet, just slightly under it, and bounce it off, and it'll bounce and land right there, and you can easily start picking them off. All right, now, here's another smoke I want to show. This is a little bit more This is again for T, and this is a little bit more tricky because what I notice is when people want to take B site, they're always really afraid of an opper in the back of B or have all this hard time taking them out. So the best way to do that, and you could even do this against people, and this works really well because the key spots that people love to play is sometimes they'll be playing around here, which you can get them when you're running in, but sometimes they'll be peeking around here, or most likely they'll be back here. These are the areas you're really afraid of. There's people back here and here. So what you can do to take care of that and cut your angles down and be able to do a one-way smoke on all of them is literally just run into the corner here. You're gonna see this box here and there's a shadow. This is why it's a little bit tricky because you're basing it off the shadow. So when you see the shadow where it meets is usually around here. You want to just aim in this corner here and just toss it there. And as soon as it pops, you want to run over here and you can see through the smoke to that back of the site. And as it starts to clear up a bit, you can see them more in towards the site here. So I'm going to do that smoke again, or I'll show you what it looks like on their side. It's pretty smoked up. And if a guy was opping back here, he's not going to really notice you. And you'll be able to at least get a couple of good shots on him, especially if you had an op, you'd be able to pick him. So you basically get into this corner, look at the shadow, aim it slightly to the left here. It's really where the shadow ends, and as soon as it pops, you want to run into this corner. This is where it's going to be like the easiest part to pick them, because right when that smoke pops, they can't even notice you. Especially if they're opping or anything like that, they won't be able to notice you, and you'd be able to get the picks. So you'd be able to pick the guy back here, and then you could easily get in and start worrying about people hiding here and take them all out. So anyway, guys, that sums it up. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment on this video, letting me know what you think, and if you want to see more videos like this that give you tips and tricks, or maybe even check out some videos on screen right now. But please do leave a comment and a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.